What is the biggest buzz going around the homesteading community right now on social media and YouTube? Gardening. Gardening is all the buzz right now in the homesteading community. From seed starting, planting, plotting, getting ready. This is the time that homesteaders and gardeners start getting everything ready for the garden. Let me show you what it looks like outside right now. You wouldn't think this is the time of year that we start our garden planting. It is cold and it's snowing. Last night we got an ice storm. Today we actually have a snow day from school. But gardening takes a lot of planning, and this is the time to start. So don't miss your opportunity to get your garden started this year. Starting a garden does not have to be hard. Before I started gardening, I'd look at this great big beautiful picture of what a garden was supposed to look like. Yeah, that's clean. I would watch a lot of these big YouTube channels, homesteading channels, gardening channels, and I would dream of having this great big garden like they have. I would dream about having these big harvests, lots of produce for preserving and for canning. But one thing I've learned is it's a lot of work. I can't just snap my fingers and have this beautiful garden just like that. So I knew I wanted to start a garden, but it was kind of scary to look at that big picture. How much work was it really going to take to achieve that big garden that I really wanted? I think that first summer that we were here, we even just threw some chives in a pot off the deck. We like chives in our potato salad. So instead of trying to plot and plan an entire garden, I just thought, let me just start with a couple pots. I think the first year we did tomatoes, we did some zucchini. It wasn't much, but it was a start. You don't need an acre. You don't need a half an acre. I know people that grow right off their patio in the city. You can do strawberries in hanging baskets. You can put herbs in your windowsills. Grow in a raised bed. Dig up a 4x8 plot. I mean, there are so many things you can do. You can grow in those 5-gallon buckets. Those 5-gallon buckets come in handy for a lot of things. I feel like there's never an excuse to not be able to grow your own food. Pulling these jars out of the dishwasher makes me super happy because I know this is the stuff that I grew and preserved. So then comes a question, where do we find the plants? What plants do we start with? Do we start with seeds? The first 2 years I could not wrap my brain around seed starting. Nope, couldn't do it. And you don't have to either. How about make it easy on yourself? Start with a nursery. Go to a nursery, go to a big box store or a garden center, maybe a farmer's market. Ask for some help. Pick out a few plants, find some starters, they're gonna grow. So when is the best time to start your garden? It's easy. You can do a quick Google search to look up your last frost date. It'll give you a really good estimated time of when it's safe for you to put your plants in the ground. When you Google your last frost date, you will see like a map of your state, your area. And I know for us, it's Memorial Day weekend. We have a really short growing season. We're not fortunate to live down south, and I know a lot of people are putting plants in the ground right now if you're in Texas or South Carolina, Georgia. We have about 4 months growing season, maybe 4.5 months if we have a later frost. So early in May, my husband and I will start to prep our beds. What does that look like? When I first started growing, I didn't focus so much on that. Yes, your soil is super, super, super important, but you will learn as you go. Check your soil. See if you have a lot of clay, a lot of sand. I know for us, we have a lot of sand. And so we kind of thought maybe the easiest way for us to grow is in raised beds. I will tell you that raised beds are so easy. My husband will tell you he is not a handyman, but he has knocked together 11 beds. I think we had 9 4x8s, and then we have 2 2x8s. Those are for our strawberries and our asparagus. I am still learning how to compost and what composting is. But for me, prepping our beds, we use leaf mulch. We have chickens, so we use composted chicken manure. We have a wood stove, so we'll use ash from the wood stove. My husband needs to clean out his dishes from work. These are things that I've learned over the years. Yes, soil is so important, but there's a big learning curve to it. Let's just be honest. It's not easy. You know, there's a lot of people that have their soil tested. I have not been there yet. I've not done that yet. Is it important? Yeah, I'm sure it probably is, but I have still successfully grown and preserved a lot of my own food without doing that. Just get your basics down first. Find a good bag of growing medium, put it in the ground, put it in a pot, mix it in with your soil, just start growing. Last year was our 3rd growing season, and guess what? We made a lot of mistakes. But we also learned a lot. I'm a really big believer that we learn from making those mistakes. Just a little side note, nobody tells you just how hard it is to keep your farm sink clean. Let me show you. I know, it's disgusting. The only thing I know to keep this clean is Barkeeper's Friend. And I'll just use this brush and just start scrubbing. Do you have a farm sink? When we had our kitchen remodeled when we first moved in here, oh, I wanted a white farm sink. Kind of thinking I went with the stainless steel, but there you have it, the white farm sink. I still do love it. It's beautiful. It's nice in the kitchen, but it is work to maintain. You know, I am no pro. I still sit and I will watch a ton of YouTube videos. I like Gary Pilarchik over at The Rustic Garden. I like Luke Marion over at MI Gardener. Jessica at Roots and Refuge. There's quite a few. They're big name channels that I like to watch, and they're just a wealth of information. Why is it so important to grow our own food? My number one reason is I want to be more self-sufficient. In my opinion, I feel like we've grown spoiled, thinking that we're always going to be able to run to the grocery store and get food whenever we want it. But if we can take away anything that we went through, or that we've been going through the past 3 years, is that we really should try to learn to rely on ourselves. Number 2 reason, have you ever tasted a fresh tomato out of a garden? Maybe from a farmer's market, or maybe one that your friend has given you. More importantly, one that you've grown. Oh my gosh. I had to go buy tomatoes. We had tacos and nachos the other night. They're not good. If just having my own garden means that I can go out in mid-July and pick a fresh, sweet tomato from my own vine, totally worth it. Or how about growing all your own ingredients for a salad? Last year we grew so much lettuce, I did not know what to do with it. I actually did a video. It's kind of a long video, sorry about that, but I'm still learning. This year I'll just grow half the amount of lettuce. So that's something that you learn too, how much of one crop that you need. It's also nice to know where your food is coming from and that there's no chemicals in your food. We do everything organically. I don't care who you are, everybody makes mistakes. And you should really plan on making those mistakes, especially in your first year of gardening. I hope that I could inspire someone today to really think about it. Right now is the time to get your head in the game and start thinking, yeah, this year maybe I do want to start growing my own food. It doesn't have to be a lot. I kind of get behind on my dishes in my kitchen through the week. I work a lot of hours, but thanks so much for hanging out with me as I got caught up. I hope to see you next time. Take care.